the next part of quarters coverage versus 3-0. All right, so 3-0 are formations that puts the backside receiver in a cut split or puts him on the line of scrimmage. Okay, so let's take a look at this real quick. I think from what I've seen so far, this is what I would consider a meta formation. Formation meaning that people are running it a lot because of the problems that it can present to you. That's not what this video is about, really. But quarters, to me, is the great equalizer. You know what? I think palms and cover 9 play it even better. So when I get to that, I mean, it'll play it different, but it's a great way to have 3 or 4 coverages to play against probably what you're going to see all the time when you go online and you play people, all right? Or people gotta have it play, as we call it in the NFL. You know, a big time situation, guys are going to run this formation to try to mess up all the normal defenses you get. Cover 1, cover 2 man, cover 2, cover 3. You come out in this, it can kind of mess people up. Now, I will say this. The run front, you need to make sure you get that right. Because this formation, to me, is a really tough formation to stop the run as well. Naturally, the line may align not in a way that you want. So just remember that. We'll talk about that maybe in another video if you want. But let's go through the rules, all right? So, what's happening? We got 3 receivers. We got 3 actual receivers in this formation. And then over here, we have a tight end that's in line. Now, if I'll show you the next formation. He'll be split out like 2 or 3 yards. That's the same thing. And it doesn't have to be a tight end. It could be a wide receiver. Just anytime you get a cut split means that the outside receiver weak is within 5 yards of the offensive tackle. All right? So you guys have known this. This is really no different than playing anything else. We just play 3-by-1. Now this is the strong side. He's reading 1 to 2. 1 goes vertical. He got him. 2 goes vertical. Safety has him. All right? Free safety has him here. Backside safety. Okay? So this is where it gets interesting. All right? The backside safety here is still using his rule. Facts. Okay? So that tells that, tells the front side guys on a second level, whatever, front side safety, I got 3 if he goes vertical, right? So he goes vertical, he has him, right? So that's no different. If 3 wasn't to go vertical, we'll talk about that later. Here, free up. This corner, right? Before, this was a Meg corner, right? He's thinking the same thing from off position, right? He's thinking, I got him if he goes vertical. If he runs underneath to the outside, so he runs a quick out, I got him. He'll probably play it with a little bit of leverage, a little bit of give, but he pretty much has him. Now, there's an extra call on this, okay? So listen to me here. This part is a little bit tricky, but it'll make sense to you. Once you follow these videos for years and you do this stuff, it gets easy, but it's not really easy to execute when you're actually playing a game. The backside safety, the free strong safety here, he will say facts, or arrow, right? Whatever, solo, whatever call you make, right? He will tell the corner, cone, or he'll make an in and out call with him. Hey, alert cone, or lock. Cone, what that is a double team on the receiver that's aligned, or the tight end here that's aligned on the line of scrimmage. If that guy goes in right now, he runs a quick underneath route, the safety will leave his facts responsibility, leave his solo responsibility, and go cover him. He will go downhill and go cover him. The corner will replace and take that safety's responsibility. He will now eye number 3. And if 3 goes vertical, he needs to be there. So that is where this defense has power. This defense has power, especially if you move that safety up. If you have the leagues like that, I don't like to do that type of stuff. But if the safety's playing a little bit closer, it makes it easier. You can do that. Now, I don't want to talk about the next adjustment that I'll show you how to make, because I need to be on the defensive side of the sticks for it. And I probably should have done that, but just trust me on it. You can go into practice mode. I'll talk about it later. But here, this is 4 vertical, so it's pretty simple. Pretty simple with the deep guys, nothing crazy. I'll go into that adjustment I just spent time on in a second. But let me just quickly talk about the underneath guys. Same thing here, 2 and 3, right? Nickel, who's playing Eyes on 2 or 3, 2 goes vertical, becomes a curl defender. Nothing crazy. 2 goes out. He got him. Remember, this is a formation where you get wheel routes, man. If you get an out route or some type of like outside release by 2 and he runs up the field, he got him. He has to stay with him. Same thing for him too. If 3 goes in, 3's away, stick with 2, right? So he has to remember that if you get double slants. Now you got your other linebacker, your middle linebacker here. He's playing 3 to 2, right? Same rules, nothing crazy. You know, he's a wall defender, so if 3 was to work inside and across the field, you got to stay with him. If he goes vertical, boom, let him go. If he goes out, use the same rules we talked about. Squeeze with 3, look for stick. That's how I would coach you if you were playing Madden or real. Take away the stick route, okay? Backside guy, the quarter flat defender who's in the box, he got man on the running back, man. Just match him up. Match on 2 weak, all right? And they do a nice job, I think, from this formation, and that's not even a problem. All right, so now let's go into the situation I just talked about, where the tight end comes under. What are the DBs going to do, right? So we got 3 verticals on the outside. Again, remember, vertical routes, if it's the first time you ever heard me talk about it, is anything over 10 yards. So I know that's not a straight route. It's a dig, it's a deep post, a crosser, a speedo, whatever it is, by 2 and 3. But these are considered, we break it down, make it easy on ourselves. Anything over 10 yards for the most part, over linebacker depth, is considered a vertical route, which means you can call the route what you want, what it actually does past 10 yards, but that tells the DBs to actually match people. Take him. He goes vertical, take him. It's easy. That's how you got to coach it up, all right? So what should happen here is that front side corner should take 1, front side safety should take 2, backside safety should come down because he's in a cone and take care of the tight end, right? And the backside corner should go play that crossing route by number 3. Let's see what happens. There it goes. So this is huge, huge, huge. I've seen so many guys play this coverage, man, and user the backside safety, which I wouldn't if I were you in this defense. I think he does a good job. But in old Maddens, he sucked. You had to go cover number 3. But if this happens to you, bro, right, and you get the tight end going across, and you're the backside safety, and you don't do anything, and you just play number 3 vertical, this guy's going to be wide open, right, depending on what number 2 does. You're not going to always be safe by the nickel, right, because if the nickel got an out route, he wouldn't be there. Backside corner, right, nobody uses that guy, but you got to know what he's doing, right, he's there. This could lead to a pick. You know, guys who just think I can throw corner routes and they're thinking you playing a lot of man match coverage, they see this and they don't see that corner, that could be a pick. One advantage of this defense. Now, I like this defense personally to use the nickel. 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5. People are going to be running all types of like shallow routes from the tight end. And people are programmed to think it's open. And technically, it kind of is open. Even though the safety's coming down, he's coming from depth, man. You know, so he may not be there to stop a 3-yard route on 3rd and 3. So I would use the nickel, and I kind of just, I sit there, man. I'm just licking my chops waiting for a pick 6. Because I don't have any deep responsibility of a vertical of 2. Now, if he does go outside, then I need to stay with him, and I'm kind of eating up. But that's how I work. All right? I wouldn't use the inside linebacker in the box unless you think it's a run. All right? I would still maybe even match up man-to-man. Let me see what that guy did. He just checked out late, but he matches him up. Remember, weak side linebacker, inside weak side quarter flat defender. He has this guy matched up man-to-man. That's his guy. All right? And the middle linebacker right now, 3's vertical, doesn't have any work. Right? He doesn't have to worry. Remember I talked about the whole thing in the last video about if you take the center and you go left of center, that is one side of the world and the other side is another world that you don't have to worry about. Right now, the linebacker is not worried about anything from the right side of the screen. That is taken care of by what I said, the safety, the corner, whatever. Only if you have no work, you can go chase the ball late. I gave you a tip with playing with the nickel because I'm kind of cheating a little bit. I don't really have to worry about a crossing route, but this is such a popular play that you can go get yourself a nice little free pick. Now, this play, I don't know if I can actually get to it, if I can jump on. Let me do this. Let me switch sides. I don't want to waste time. but I do want to just maybe kind of show you, because when it comes to cone, remember what I said when it comes to playing press coverage with quarter defenders. If you play press with anybody, all right, I'm just getting this play out the way. You play press with your corners, they always turn into meg corners, man everywhere they go. They just basically man them up. So that applies even in this situation where you want to get, and this is what I do, I'll be honest with you, especially when I'm playing palms. I'll talk about that later. Let me see, hopefully I have the same play information out of this playbook. Same similar idea. I don't have, there we go, perfect. Verticals, wide drag. All right, so now I'm on the defensive side, right? So check this out. If I move the corners up, now this is my first time doing it in Madden 23. It worked last year. If it doesn't work, I got to work around. But by me just pressing the defense, right? We see Ward, his quarter flat in this formation versus this route, he should be the one. There's no cone. Cone is off. Cone is off. So now he would just take tight end man-to-man across the field, and the safety would play his normal solo, fax rules, whatever you want to call it, on number 3. Let's see what happens. I'm going to play with the D lineman here. Didn't do it. Did not do it. So I'm going to give you the workaround, because usually this works. Let me do it again. Sometimes when you're in practice mode, things aren't realistic. Let me just press the corners, right? And let's see if he covers them. Okay, well, we're learning on the fly here, and this is why we do it. Oh, wait, hold on. Who caught what I did wrong? See, I switched sides, and I didn't put it in, what do you call it? I didn't put the defense in match. So they're playing zone drops. I'm actually happy I have that on film. Really happy I have that on film. And the funny thing is that I might have had that on, oh, let's just see. Here we go. So I switched sides and I messed that up. So let's do this right now. Verticals, wide drag. Boom. Let's see what happens. Indecision. Indecision. Let's try it again. I don't like the alignment of the corner. Obviously, he's so wide. He's going to be beat no matter what. But I just want to see if he actually follows him. We can always make adjustments with movement, but does he follow him? No. They're both, the safety and the corner are both stuck, and they don't know for sure. So this is going to be an adjustment that I made back in the day. Really nothing new. Is to take the corner and just man him up. Right? Just make the hot route audible, man him up. I would press, you know, in my leagues that I play in, my simulation leagues, we can't move any player that you're not using. But I would just press him. And if you have a really good corner, he's going to chase him. He might be behind, but at least he's going to make a tackle. You know, it's not going to be a catch more than 5 yards if you have a corner running down a decent tight end. Maybe this isn't the best way to play it. Maybe it's, you know, there might be other ways to play it that gets the corner in a better spot. And we can talk about that more later. But the actual assignment is happening the way that it should happen. A little hesitation there with the safety, but I wasn't watching that one. But that's that. So that's the new adjustment that happens. You have your normal solo call, your normal solo defense with the backside safety looking to help out on number 3, looking to take number 3 vertical. However, if there is there's a 3x0 where there's a cut split, is the best way to say it, and it's, you know, basically now you have your cone, which will turn. It's a way to play almost man and zone. It's a way to play man rules within the zone, and it just takes care of problems. Like, and I'll talk this through as we're waiting for me to switch back. Being a good defensive person, and this is the reason why I love defense, it's fixing problems. It's like being, you know, you're just going through all the situations that you might face and then coming up with the best solution to take away what people want to do. So this defense in general, you just have to make sure you have the right type of defense that can take care of these routes. Now, as I get into some other quarters defenses, there's some strengths, like palms is better maybe versus this, and some other defenses I could talk about, 6 invert, things like that can kind of play it a little bit different and give you a little bit more flavor, a little bit more flexibility. But that's where we are. So we spent a lot of time on that. Really, the routes are no different. I want to take a look at something here though. Let's look at routes that people might run from back in the day. Let me just make sure I'm still on match. Yep, I was always on match on that one. Here we go. So We got quarters coverage, right? This one here, I want to see if the wheel is covered. Interesting. Okay. So, one thing about quarters coverage, and if you ever played against, or you ever watched, I played against the Patriots a lot. If you ever watched the Patriots offense, man, they run so many wheels. That's kind of basically, they don't have a real vertical game when they had Tom Brady. It was about wheel routes, right? And crossing routes. But wheel routes was like the huge way to kind of get people down the field with running backs and whatnot. And I'm going into story mode. But the nickel corner in quarters, right? He should take this as an out. I don't know why he's doing that. I got to look at this again. 2 goes out, you got him, match. I don't know why he's sitting there on 3. Now, the safeties in the corner who are keying 1 and 2. This is what, in the NFL, we call that a switch release vertical, really. Or any type of time, anytime that any receiver, 1 or 2, breaks out right now or gets upfield, and you got to study this stuff. This is not easy. You got to actually sit down and talk about it. This is where you spend most of your meeting time, being on the same page with each other. This type of route is really just, in my opinion, is a post and a wheel, but it's 2 vertical routes. It's a switch combination, right? And you want to cover it like you would any other switch combination. So if you know this is coming, you can just switch this off down the field, similar to like a zone it in 2x2. However, I do believe Madden, because of this, also in real life, anytime people run switch routes, a lot of times 1 and 2 are close, so you kind of know what's happening. But in this case, you don't really know. So I think they just made it easy, and they just want the safety. Even though he has horrible technique and he's backpedaling away from number 2, this computes as 2 vertical, right? Even though it's a wheel. So he's just going to take 2 vertical, even though it's really slow and late. 1's going to stay on 1. But you have to understand a wheel route is essentially a vertical route, right? And that's how they played it. So that's a little bit interesting. And I'm not sure why the middle linebacker is running in here. This is why using him might be important. But when it comes to this guy, I said 5 yards and out, you match. This is out, all right? And then in real life, if he goes up, you should stay with him. You really should. And that's where there could be confusion. I've seen lots of teams give up touchdowns in that. And this is why people run sometimes these type of plays in Madden, because people bust. And they know the AI on defense, especially versus a quarters match team, may not play it right. Let's see if they play it different. They pretty much played it the same. The nickel, he's letting it go, you know. Let's see, like, watch. If I put this guy in an out route, he's going to play it better, you know. He's getting caught in between right there, but he's going to play it better. Here we go. Watch. The nickel, I mean, that's his guy. I don't understand. I guess they have it programmed this year that when he runs an actual wheel route, he knows it's a wheel route, and he's going to kind of fall off late. All right, I don't think there's anything else here. I didn't look at the backside. All right, so weak side linebacker is matched up on 2 weak. He's got him. Over here, right, safety's coming over looking for 3. Nothing will work. Wait, who is that? I'm sorry, I got confused. Oh wait, those 3 did go vertical. I'm sorry. Yeah, so this is perfect. So 3 goes vertical. He has him. Boom, got it. Right? People might throw this ball in there, you know. So I like how the safety comes running over there. Right? That's pretty good. And the backside corner is playing, in this case, anything vertical, anything outside, I got him. He may not have considered that a vertical route, even though he's breaking over 12 yards, right? And in this case, you would get late help from the middle linebacker, because what? 3's vertical. Nobody's coming in. Boom. You can help out here late, right? So, again, I don't know if quarters is the best defense versus this formation. I like it when I can use the nickel, and I can kind of anticipate that somebody's going to throw a check down to somebody coming across the field. That's kind of like when I like to use it. Let me look at Bill's wide post, and then we're ended here, because I know in the past this would just beat a lot of coverages that corner out, especially in the red zone. Again, this is what I would call a level of difficulty when it comes to how you're going to cover 3 running a corner, right? Because technically it is the safety's responsibility on this side of the screen, as long as 2 doesn't come under, to go play him, and he doesn't go play him. Now he kind of lucks out there because, again, it's two different worlds. He's not looking at what's happening with, anybody else but 3 in 1 week. And if for some reason, 3 goes vertical, he has to be there. But this kind of lucks out because the front side corner has 1 under. He's playing from off, so he doesn't have to worry about it. The nickel, right? 3's away, right? Does 3 go inside? No. So he can kind of sit there, right? And play the new number 1, which is the outside in route. The linebacker, right? He's playing 3 he's looking for that stick, right? He should play a little closer to 3, but in case he broke out. But as soon as he gets vertical, he doesn't have him. He should be able to drive down on this route. The corner's playing 1 to 2. 1 goes in. There's no 2. So he would now just zone off into his quarters looking for help. And look what's coming to him. A tight end, a number 3 receiver coming over this way. All right. Front side safety, strong side safety, which is the free safety here. Technically, 2 works in. He doesn't have any immediate work. He technically can help out where needed. Think about 1 works in. I would be looking at 3 and being more cognizant of him instead of the backside post. Backside post, vertical route. Okay, well, there goes the bust. I knew there would be 1 somewhere. The corner should just stay with this guy. He runs up, he runs a post. That should be the corner's guy. The safety, again, you don't know. The corner doesn't know if the safety's going to be able to help him. It's a great job by helping him, but he doesn't know. See, the one thing about quarters coverage is that, you really do get extra bonus players sometimes. And, from an offensive standpoint, you're not sure who it's going to be. But really, routes always tell me. If somebody tells me they got beat in quarters, I say, well, it was a route. And maybe somebody could have helped out. But no corner should ever think I have help on this route. So anytime I play this coverage, and I'm going to do it this year more often as I play more games, I just put the corner and man on the tight end. I just man him up. That's the only adjustment I make. You can press him if you want him to be closer to him, but that's the only adjustment because honestly, that just cleans up a lot of stuff on the backside. Then you don't have to worry about doing a cone. Like I talked about, if the tight end goes in, you don't have to worry about it, and you can just play ball from there. All right. I don't think there's any other examples that are kind of going to change anything right now that I have here. You see that. And then the last thing here, if you ever get U-Trips week, I know that's like I think it's Pat's U-Trips or whatever. This is a defense that's going to show up. This is not a 3-by-0 or Trey or trio formation. It's really 3-by-1. Why? Because the tight end, the left receiver on screen, he is actually outside of 5 yards. Okay. If for some reason he was the motion in, which I can't even do, but if he was tighter, let me go here. If he was standing about right here, right, then it turns into the rules where I would just man up that guy on the backside manually, and then it's going to turn into the same defense, but I would just man up the backside. If you want to take the chance that they're going to play cone correctly, then you can do it, but I wouldn't mess with it. All right, that's it, man. That's really it. That was a shorter video, quote unquote, of 3-by-0. I hope you guys like this stuff. As I go through, I'm trying to keep track of plays when I play in games and stuff. I'm not going to stream right now. Maybe down the line I'll talk through some of my streams and actually do stuff live. But right now I'm trying to just keep track of plays that I know are problems, and I'll post them and have like a whole day where I'll just sit here and just go through like 15-20 plays that are problem plays versus certain coverages. And you can learn that what you're doing is learning how to stop problem plays and what to look for, but also what you're doing is learning what plays on offense you can just put away for a rainy day. And somebody's in match quarters or whatever coverage you're talking about, you have some beaters, right? That's how it works. And stuff that's in the game that's flat out broken, I already know. When we get to bunch, that's the next series. There's stuff in the game that's broken when teams are in bunch, right? Or teams are in empty. And I'll talk about some of the major ones that I think are fair and just EA needs to fix. But there's some beaters I'm not going to even show, because I don't want this to be a film session where we're talking about what beats what, run this play, do this motion, audible him, hot route him. That's not what I'm about here. You know, like I said, I'm coming from an NFL coaching point of view, and that's how I like to do it. I try to be as sim as possible within the Madden unsim world. Talk to you later, man. Peace.